Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is brought to you by S&J Construction, and it'll be fought in the CFC lightweight division. It'll be contested over 3 5-minute rounds, and the man in charge of the action is Mr. Jaron Vallel. And now first, introducing in the blue corner from Montreal, Quebec. He trains out of TriStar Gym. He stands 5'8", weighed in at 154.5 pounds, has an unblemished record with 5 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, John the Bull Makdessi. And his opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, representing Wema. He stands 5'11", weighed in at 155.5 pounds. He has a fight record of 5 wins, 3 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Lindsey.
Robin Black, I am absolutely stoked for this fight. 2 heavy-handed individuals.
Yeah, this is going to be a great fight.
If you'd like to touch gloves, do so now. Come out ready to fight.
Makdessi comes with a huge reputation, an extensive kickboxing background. He's undefeated. He trains with Faraz Zahabi at TriStar Gym. But this is by far the biggest test that he's faced in Lindsey Hawks, who is a pretty serious striker and a really well-rounded mixed martial artist.
Spent some time training with Sean Tompkins, the originator of Canadian mixed martial arts.
Yeah, he's been around. Lindsey knows how to fight, and now he trains with Curtis Brigham, and everybody that trains with Curtis is a tough dude right now.
But John Makdessi, I had the pleasure of seeing this guy in every one of his fights, and each and every time he gets better, which is very impressive.
Just look at the way he moves. Look at the bounce in his step. Look at the movement.
And that's it right there. When you look at his unorthodox style, very hard to mimic that. He's got big, heavy hands, and you have to give props to Lindsey Hawks. He is here to fight his fight as well.
Yeah, you got to watch out for Makdessi. He throws hook kicks off the front leg. He throws spinning kicks off the back leg. He uses some stuff that yeah, you're right. You can't simulate that in the gym. So, you know you're going to get hit with some of those. You just got to hope that your conditioning is good enough that you can take it and bounce back.
Makdessi also can take a beating, too, training with all those animals. It's hobby MMA.
That's for sure. There's a side kick off the front leg. There's another side kick. I mean, he's going to throw a lot of different stuff at you. He's got a nice bounce going. He's got good footwork. He's a pretty serious dude, but Lindsey is tough as nails.
And Hawks definitely has a slight reach advantage, being the taller of the 2 fighters.
I think Makdessi seems to be the more relaxed of the 2. It's like he's just showing up to the office. He brought his lunchbox and he's ready to settle into work. Whereas Lindsey's a little jumpy right now and a little edgy.
One day, I'm sure John Makdessi will be in the big show.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's one thing for him to be this talented. It's another thing for him to be this talented and this exciting. So, you'll see big things out of this guy. But, Lindsey's been a powerhouse in Winnipeg for a long time. He's been a guy who's beat some serious guys before, and he is not afraid to take this fight.
And you have to give props to any fighter that's willing to get in there and put on a show for our amusement.
Absolutely. Any fight is a tough fight. Every fight is dangerous, is frightening, really, at the core of it. But that's why these guys do it, is to face that. And a guy like Lindsey wants a big test. And there's that spinning kick again. Man, if he lands one of those.
Now Lindsey looks like he's getting a little more comfortable. We see a couple of shots there. Went for the high head kick. Followed it up with a strike with his hands.
Yeah, it's almost like, Lindsey is attacking right now. He's really trying to do some damage, whereas John, I think, is just trying to learn what it is Lindsey's going to throw at him and be ready with counters and decisions that he's going to make.
How important is it that is the feeling out process, that first round?
Every guy is different. A lot of guys like to just get in there and start, like we saw with Stranger earlier, just get in there and start fighting. But some of these cerebral fighters, which John Makdessi definitely is he right now he's assessing what you have, and he's looking for things that you're going to do and redo that he can exploit later. A kick to the body hurt, but Makdessi took one to the leg as well.
Now both guys just going back and forth, just trying. And a big shot by Makdessi right on the mark.
Yeah, nice jab. Makdessi's really well-rounded, and a lot of people think now.
And a nice kick. by Makdessi right to the head of Lindsey Hawks.
That's that hook kick I was talking about. You almost never see that land, from guys at any level, including the UFC. But I've seen, look at that, Makdessi did a little double kick there. I've seen Makdessi landed in almost every one of his fights. So he's really got an arsenal that a lot of guys just don't have.
Just a ton of confidence by this young man, or from this young man.
Yeah, he's starting to figure out Hawks right now, and that's trouble for Hawks. I think Hawks wants to make this an uglier fight. I think that's how he wants to approach this.
And Makdessi, I think, just one step ahead of Lindsey Hawks, able to parry.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the poise of Makdessi. He doesn't need this to turn into a slugfest at the beginning. In fact, that's not what he wants. He wants to figure this out and surgically take apart Hawks. Hawks should be the one trying to make this a slugfest.
I'm surprised that Lindsey Hawks isn't trying to get this fight down to the ground, to be honest with you.
Well, I think that's most people's answer if they're fighting Makdessi is take him to the ground. But I think that's just because, number one, we've never seen it happen in most of his fights. He's got great takedown defense and great mobility and footwork. But, if and when it does go down, he trains it with Zahabi with some of the best guys. He's going to have a surprising skill set on the ground.
But this round, I think, controlled by Makdessi, and right away Lindsey Hawks takes this fight down to the ground at the end of the opening round.
That just,
very important.
Yeah, it just shows you how smart Lindsey is and how much he understands the game. It's like, if it's a close round, let's get that takedown and try to make the judges remember that.
I don't know if it was a very close round. It was a competitive round, but I think it was a round that was won by John Makdessi. I think he was able to push the pace and land his strikes whenever he wanted to. When we return to CFC number 4, round number 2 between Hawks and Makdessi. Round number 2 about to get underway, and this lightweight affair between John Makdessi and Lindsey Hawks. Robin Black, how did you score that round?
I think that was Makdessi's round for sure. His movement was so good, and he was really able to land the shots when he wanted to.
And Lindsey Hawks, what does he need to do?
I think he's got to make this a little bit more of a barroom brawl. He's got to get in, try to get the clinch, do some dirty boxing. Just make it less technical, because you got a guy that's a technician on the other side. The old theory, box a brawler and brawl a boxer.
I think Lindsey Hawks should definitely try to explore the same thing he did in the last 10 seconds of that opening round and try to put Makdessi on his back. You said that you he's prepared training at Zahabi MMA, and he probably is, but why not test those waters?
Well, his strength is unquestionably his kicks and his stand-up, so let's just take it away from there. That's a great idea.
And a ton of confidence by Makdessi, as it looks like he's coming out like a house on fire.
Some guys have been afraid. Oh, that was a nice kick, man. When one of those lands to the sternum or to the
to the liver,
the breadbasket or the liver, it's over. But a lot of guys have been really intimidated by Makdessi and stepped back. And at the weigh-ins, Lindsey Hawks just got right in his face. It was one of the most intense, little stare-downs that I've ever seen between these two guys. So Lindsey Hawks is not afraid of him, but man, he's getting tagged.
And Lindsey Hawks has to do something here if he wants to be successful against the Bull.
I like the, obviously his kicks are great, Makdessi's kicks, but I like that little jab he's been throwing.
Everything. He's mixing up his strikes beautifully, and Lindsey Hawks really has to do something, and there we see it, a nice combination, a 1-2 combination by Lindsey Hawks, but he has to be first.
Yeah, one of the things that was a nice shot to the body, and man, these are hard kicks. This guy's been throwing kicks his whole life in developing this style. One of the things that Makdessi does have is that ability to use that front leg as a weapon, like a jab. He throws hook kicks from it, he throws side kicks from it, and he's able to do damage with his left leg and pick away at you, and I think that's a big part of what makes him so dangerous.
And Makdessi's hand speed is unquestionable.
Yeah, he's landing that jab just every time Lindsey moves, he just flicks it out there, and you can see he's doing damage to his face every time. It's not finishing the fight, but it's starting to wear him down.
And Makdessi again, beating Lindsey Hawks to the punch.
He's just so quick, and he doesn't have huge head movement. He's just got the perfect amount. Like, you don't want to move your head. Wow, another double kick.
Just very creative is John the Bull Makdessi with those strikes, mixing it up in every single way possible.
Yeah, he really looks good, and again, he's fighting a tough, talented guy in here, but he's really, really looking good. But I was saying earlier about his head movement. He moves it just enough, and you don't want the guy to miss by a foot. You want him to miss by half an inch, so that you're still where you want to be when you fire back. And Makdessi's doing a great job of that. You saw it right there.
And both guys very composed, though. Lindsey Hawks is still in this fight, throwing out some kicks and punches of his own. Nice inside kick by Hawks.
I just counted 4 counter jabs. Just waited, moved his head, and landed that jab. And you can see the damage it's doing to Hawks' face. It's just, one jab at a time, just countering off something else and popping the jab out there. And it's working like a charm.
And that's how he has to be successful. Lindsey Hawks has to push this pace. He has to try to get Makdessi to retreat if he wants to be successful.
Yeah, you were talking about him taking it to the ground. He's got so much guts that really it's working against him right now. He can wait for Makdessi to throw and then pop under it and shoot for a takedown and try to change this up a little bit. But it's his ego and his heart that's making him stand in here and trade with a guy.
And Makdessi, again, just moving forward and winning every single one of these exchanges.
Yeah, the kid is so talented. And it's really cool to see him take this step up. There's a side kick of Hawks's.
Why not take a page out of the Bulls' book?
Well, it probably hurt him. So, wow, look at...
Right away, John Makdessi,
look at his head
relentless with his attack.
And look at his head move. He's in... Watch his head there. Did you see that? And look at the counter left. There's that right hand. It's just beautiful to see this.
And John Makdessi smells the blood, and this cannot go on for much longer.
Lindsey Hawks is tough, but at some point your brain just says you're too tough for me and shuts you down.
When is the referee responsible? Even though Lindsey Hawks continues to respond, he is taking a beating right now.
Well, Hawks is answering back, and he's staying in there, but the ref is taking a good look at it because he has taken a lot of damage. Man, I'm just so impressed with Makdessi, especially his countering and his head movement.
And we see there Lindsey Hawks looking for the takedown, but Makdessi stuffs it and gets right back up. And this could spell the end of this for Lindsey Hawks. John Makdessi turning it on here, especially in close.
Wow, and his ability to get out of range and back into his punching range so quickly. He's just got so many skills, and now he's doing some damage from the top.
Just beating on Lindsey Hawks right now is John Makdessi. As the round is coming to a close, and Lindsey Hawks, a very bloodied individual. And I'm very surprised the referee comes in and stops the punishment.
Yeah, he had seen enough. And it was one more second, and you'd give Lindsey a minute to recover, but that's not what mixed martial arts is about. When it's over, it's over. And Makdessi finished that fight.
And there we see Makdessi going to work, mixing up his strikes.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are warriors inside this cage. Let's hear for them one more time. Referee Jaron Vallel steps in at 4:59 of the second round. And your winner by TKO, John the Bull Makdessi.
Let's hear from both these two guys.